Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Working Title Podcast with Zachary Scott King. I am very excited to welcome our newest guest, Erick Solis. Give it up for Eric.
Hey, dude, thank you for having me.
What's going on, brother?
Dude, I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. I'm very excited to be here. It's
We're
fun.
we're gonna do another round of applause for this amazing man right here.
Doing more than one is you're overkilling
Not
it.
only one round, you got two rounds of applause.
Oh my God, thank you.
Welcome, dude. How you feeling?
Feeling great. Yeah,
Good.
feeling good. Yeah, it's
Um,
nice seeing you, dude.
It's nice seeing you too. I'm so excited to have you here.
Dude, yeah, for sure, sure.
So, for our listeners, last episode we experienced some audio technical difficulties, which I have tried to work out, do it yourself style. So, which that means it might not be fixed, and if it isn't, I will just record from my phone because the conversation with this beautiful and lovely man is what matters. It's not all the bells and whistles.
Beautiful. I don't know. Lovely, maybe.
So, for the listeners, let's get a little background. Tell us where you're from, where you grew up, everything like that.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Mexico, but I've been living all my life in Texas. Like I lived in Texas for the better part of about 20, 25 years. I moved out here to LA about 10 years ago now.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, yeah. But I've been pretty much a Texas boy all my life. Um, I've always loved movies. I've always loved uh, making movies, no matter how shitty they are. I just love that whole side of things. And I moved from Texas. I moved out here for that specific reason to pursue a career in filmmaking, no matter what that might be in post production or production or even pre production. Um, yeah, yeah.
And for the listeners, don't let his humble attitude fool you. This guy has an absolute eye. I mean, he is a talented guy. Did you grow up? I know there are many things that, as a youngster, I put on YouTube that I wish I hadn't. But I all of that is to say, did you grow up doing things with your friends in terms of making things, making little movies, making little skits?
Yeah,
Yes,
we did. We did. I have a buddy of mine. His name's Rudy.
I know Rudy.
You know Rudy? Yeah, he's a Giants fan. I know. I know. Yeah, we met when we were 11, and we kind of started just doing our little projects, in middle school, with a shitty like little like digital camera.
Yeah.
And that's when I first started doing videos. That's when I started falling in love with making movies. Um, all those projects that we worked on, we never actually put them online. We never even actually finished them. We might have shot like about 3 minutes, and we kind of just gave up on the whole
Yeah.
process of it. But we did do a lot of videos. They never went online, and him and I, we kind of went separate ways. He moved to another part of Texas to study his bachelor's and his master's, and I stayed in the same city where I was, Brownsville, Texas, to follow a career in communications. And so once we separated, he kind of did his own thing, and I did mine. But in doing my thing, I kind of kept still working on little tiny shitty projects. He focused more on like theater and screenwriting. I focused more on like on the shooting stuff. Actually picking up a camera and continue shooting. And those videos did end up online. I put them up on YouTube and shit. But then about like 4 months later, I rewatched them and I realized, oh my God, they're shit. What? I'm gonna delete them. I can't keep them online, and so I would delete the videos and sometimes even close out the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But now I kick myself because now those videos are gone forever.
Yeah.
So
I so I say that I wish I never put that on, kind of in dishonest jest, but I mean, I remember when I was in high school, a bunch of friends, we shot this. We made this little scary movie, this little horror movie. We found this old abandoned cabin outside of this little town that we lived in. It was very spooky. Same thing. This crappy little camera, and I don't even remember the name of it, of the title of the movie. And but what I do remember is there was a scene where I died. I die a bloody death, and this is probably March, upstate New York. It's cold, and I'm lying on the cold mud ground, and we put ketchup all over my chest as the blood. Literally, we put Heinz ketchup on my chest, and I remember it was probably 30 degrees. I smell like ketchup and mud, and we put that on YouTube. I,
Still on YouTube?
I've never deleted it. I don't know if any of the other guys did, but it's just funny, going back and things you create as a youngster. And at the time, we were like, "This is so good."
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
And you watch it back, and you're like, "Oh no!"
Back when we were 13 and we were filming, the fucking videos were the shittiest. But we were taking the camera and we would tilt the camera, just tilt it, and we do what you call a Dutch angle, where everything's a little bit shifted. And we do that and we think like, oh my God, we're fucking filmmakers.
Right.
This is like
Cinema.
this is the coolest shit ever.
Absolute cinema.
We rotated the camera 45 degrees. We really are meant to be doing this.
Like, stop Hollywood.
Yeah, dude. And back then, I'd be the main actor.
Yeah.
So, holy fuck, dude. You can't imagine me. It's almost 6'1", 130 pounds. I look like a fucking alien trying to act with my big ass head. I look horrible, dude. Horrible. Oh, God. Yeah. Terrible. Yeah.
I bet you're great, dude. I've never seen you act, but I bet you.
No. And I hope you never do.
So you grew up in Texas. You spent almost all of your life there.
Mm-hmm.
You moved to Los Angeles. Let's go there. So you jumped to Los Angeles. What year is that?
2015.
2015. So bang, 2015. You're in Los Angeles. Go.
Yeah, being in LA was like the dream for me.
Yeah.
Being in Texas, I've always wanted to move out to LA.
Yeah.
Well, the minute I knew I wanted to do directing, since I was 11, I told myself when I grow up, I'm gonna move out. Period. And of course, that took forever, right? I had to get a job, save up enough money to move out here and all that. And that's where I met Elizabeth, back in Brownsville and all that stuff.
For the listeners, Elizabeth is a wonderful actress who is coming on the pod. Actually, our next episode on the pod, who is partners with Eric. Wonderful actress, working actor, Stella Adler actor. Just made her directorial debut, co-directorial debut.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Am I correct in that?
She did, yeah.
Wonderful. So for the listeners, watch out. Watch out.
Watch out for that firecracker. Yeah. And so
that's where you met Elizabeth.
That's where we met Elizabeth, and that's where we met at some random ass job, being working at a courthouse. I saved up for about a year.
That was out here?
In Brownsville.
Brownsville. Okay.
We met in Brownsville, Texas.
Okay.
For the year that we pretty much dated was the year that I was saving up money to move out here. And so by the time I moved out here, I saved up not plenty, but enough money to just get me by for a couple of 5 or 6 months.
And so, believe me, in LA, that's a chunk of change.
Yeah, dude. So that's why it took me about a year and a half to save that money. But yeah, the minute I arrived here, it was like the most brutalist thing I've ever experienced in my life. I actually didn't even fly out here. I took a bus to get here because I realized since I had that chunk of change that I saved, I'm like, it took me almost 2 years to save that money. I'm gonna do the best that I can to actually save
Yeah, like
that money
be
to really
economic.
so be
Right.
economically with it, you know.
Right. No, I get it.
It's not that I'm a
Because it
stingy.
goes like that.
It goes like that. I gotta go like into stingy mode,
Yeah.
9,000, you know.
Yes. Yes.
And so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a bus ticket. That'll be like $90. It won't be like 300. That's $200 I can save, right?
Yeah.
And so I took a bus ticket. I mean, I bought a bus ticket, and I took a bus to move out here. It was about a 3-day fucking bus drive, dude.
The Greyhound.
The Greyhound's the
Wow.
worst.
Yeah.
The fucking worst, dude.
Yeah.
You're sleeping in the fucking bus.
Yeah.
It's like 4 in the morning. And it's like in the middle, like fucking nowhere, Oklahoma. And it's like fucking the fucking bus driver crashes into
Day
the fucking...
day 2, 3, the smells start to.
Dude, it's the worst, dude. Like, I'm like, fucking serial killer can pop out here, and we're all fucked. We're all gonna be murdered before the fucking cops arrive, dude. The fucking town, the next town is like 50 miles over, dude. There's nowhere to run. Oh, dude, it was brutal. But it was also beautiful because you'd be driving in the middle of Nevada, right? And like, fucking Nevada for it's almost the desert now.
Yeah.
And so we're going through the desert, and there's like sand dunes
Yeah.
on both sides of the road. And the sand dunes are being pushed by the wind, and the sand is almost covering the road. And it's like 2 in the morning, and it was a full moon. It was a fucking full moon, so it was beautiful, and it's like the only thing in the road.
Yeah.
And you look outside, and it looks like a fucking movie, almost a fucking painting.
Yes.
And
If there's a full moon in the desert, dude, where it's bright enough where you can
It
almost
was
drive
beautiful,
with no
dude.
headlights on.
it was
That's how bright.
Yeah.
That's how bright
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, it was so
Like-
bright. That was great. That was the only thing that was good about the Greyhound.
Yeah.
But I mean, after 3 days, you're kind of like over it. You
Yeah.
just want to arrive, and then we're closely. I mean, the bus is closely arriving to the city, to LA, and the closer it gets to the city, the more like fucking petrified I get. I'm like, what the fuck did I just do?
Yeah.
I just fucking left my family. I
Yeah.
left my girl back in Texas to pursue this fucking fantasy dream
Yeah.
of fucking making movies. Like, what the fuck do you think you are, dude?
Yeah.
You're fucking nobody. What the fuck are you talking about? Here you are thinking the Dutch angles are like the greatest next thing, and you think you're worthy of fucking being in LA. And so, dude, I arrived here, and like every part of my body was telling me to get up and go back. It's like every part of your body. It's like you're sitting down, but your body's like moving. Like, no, we got to get up and leave. Why are you still sitting here?
Yeah.
It was the most surreal feeling ever. Having your body wanting to leave. Almost, it's like vibrating, like shaking, like get up and leave, go back. Why are you here? Why are you still standing? And so I was feeling that way in the Greyhound station, in the LA Greyhound station when it arrived. And I was feeling that way not only because I was in a new city. I mean, I was in like the worst part of downtown, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't know that Greyhound, the main office for Greyhound was in or around Skid Row.
Oh wow.
So
right off the bat.
right off the bat, that's my first impression of LA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I grew up fucking watching all these movies of LA,
Yeah.
fucking Beverly Hills and fucking Santa Monica and shit. And my
not-
first fucking thing I see is like some fucking homeless guy naked wrestling another homeless guy. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, dude? It was brutal, dude. It was brutal. And so I'm shaking of fear, of stress, of anxiety, of all these things. But I tell myself, all right, you wanted to be here, just go through it. And so I walk like 10 blocks to the nearest hotel, which was a hotel/hostel.
Yep.
And so I'm in that hotel, and I spent the first night there, and that first night was just brutal. It's like I don't know if it's the worst night because a lot of worst nights came after that one. But that was the first of many worst nights where I'm constantly downing myself and just thinking to myself, what are you doing here? Like, no, seriously, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this, like, it's not playtime anymore. Get your shit and go back. And I kept that recurring thought constantly for about 4 months. Get your shit and go back. Get your shit and go back. And I had that thought in my mind get your shit and go back. At the bus station, I had that mindset when I arrived at the hotel, and I've been having that thought ever since. Even to this day, I still feel that shit. Like, get your shit and go back. Um, but that day was horrible. I found that hotel, and I fucking call either my mom or I call Elizabeth first. I don't know who I called first, but let's say I called Elizabeth first, and I called Elizabeth, and I'm fucking like bawling my eyes out like a fucking pussy. I'm like, oh my god, babe, what the fuck did I do? I fucking left you. I left my mom. I left my job.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back. That's it. First thing tomorrow morning, I'm taking another bus back home. And she's like, no, 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 no. I mean, this is why I love her. She calls me out of my bullshit. And I might come off to people like this overly confident dude. Deep down, I'm a fucking wreck. But she like literally like almost grabs me by the balls and she's like, no, dude, you're gonna stay there. You wanted to move out there.
Yeah.
You fucking left your job, your family. You left me to pursue this dream. You're gonna stay there until your money fucking runs out. Then maybe you can come back. But you wanted this and you go after it.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, all right, okay, okay. And then I think I called my mom, and then my mom tells me, all right, look, if you want to go back, the complete opposite of fucking Elizabeth. She's like, you want to come back? All right, that's up to you. But first, fucking take a shower, have dinner, sleep, because you haven't done any of that for the last 3 days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, okay, cool. And so I go take a shower, fucking have dinner at some shitty like fucking sandwich place down the block. And then I go straight to bed. I completely try to silence all of those voices in my head that kept telling me to go back. And I tell myself, all right, I'm gonna have this sandwich. I'm gonna get rid of the hunger and I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna take a shower and then I'm gonna go to sleep. And so I did that. And after I went to sleep, I must have slept for like 11 or 12 hours.
Yeah.
Just knocked out.
Yeah.
And I woke up the following day, which was I think a Thursday or a Friday. I woke up and I felt a little bit more optimistic. For some fucking reason, I felt more optimistic. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm here. I'm in LA. Great. And I'm like, well, let's plan. Like, what's step one? What's step one? And I'm like, all right, step one, grab some breakfast. Grab some breakfast. That's step one. Eat. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go grab some waffles. I grabbed some waffles from the hotel. The hotel was serving like free waffles. And mind you, I was broke, right? I only had a limited amount of money. I'm like, free waffles? Fuck yeah,
definitely, dude.
Like fucking 10 waffles and like 5 cups of orange juice. And I'm like, great. And I'm like, great, all right. Okay, now you ate. What's step 2? All right, I gotta look for a place, a roof over my head. That's the first thing I gotta get. And so I'm like, all right, let me try Craigslist. That's the best place that I know. I might find anything for cheap.
Yeah.
Like some dude looking for a roommate,
Yeah.
I mean, I do anything.
Looking for a big beefy
Latino
guy.
Mexican guy, especially if he's swinging. Yeah. And so I go to Craigslist, and I find like 5 fucking places, right? One in Pomona, one in Hawthorne, one in fucking, I don't know, fucking Torrance. And all these names, dude, they could have been fucking, I don't know, Mandarin for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck is Hawthorne. I don't know what the fuck is fucking Pomona or Torrance or all Santa Monica. Like, I thought it was just LA.
Yeah.
I thought it was just one city.
Right.
What are all these fucking things?
No, I
didn't know what was what. But within 2 days, I was able to find the place.
Wow.
In Hawthorne.
Wow.
And for $5.50 a month.
Jeez.
Everything included. It had a washer and a dryer, which was so important to me.
Yeah.
It was this house that had like fucking 6 bedrooms, and each bedroom was being rented out.
Yeah.
To any fucking weirdo in LA
Yeah.
that needed it, right? And for $5.50, you're not gonna get the best people, right?
Yeah.
And so, but fuck it, I needed a place.
Right.
And so I called up the guy, and within 2 days, I was looking at the place. I loved the place for what it was. It was a fucking almost a shoebox, but it's just what I needed.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I gonna
Your
need?
roof over your head.
Yeah. What am I gonna need a 3-bedroom? I only have a backpack with me.
Right.
I don't even have a fucking job, dude. So I'm like, no, it's fine. I'll take it. I told the guy, I'll take it. Here's the deposit. Here's first month's rent, and we were off. And within 3 days, I had already found a place in
Wow.
LA, and I couldn't believe it. I was so proud of myself. I was like, oh my god, you did it. And again, I feel like this vibration in my body, where I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to go back? But I just kept marching through it. And those first 4 or 5 months of being out here in LA after finding the place were the most difficult I've ever experienced ever in my life. Ever. It really tested me like mentally and emotionally, and not to sound fucking cheesy or fucking kind of like new wave or like some dumb yoga chick. Like, oh man. No, I'm like it really tested me like very, very deeply, where I'm like, fuck, I really need to look into myself and ask, is this what I want to do? And if this is really what I want to do, then I have to push through no matter how hard it gets, because you're going to open up your eyes, dude, and you're going to be fucking 95. I mean, if I make it to 95, right? If you're going to make it to 95, you're going to open up your eyes and your whole life is going to go by. And do you really want to have that regret?
Yeah.
And there's no worse feeling than fucking regret.
No, it's the scariest thing ever. Regret is scarier than not doing it.
Dude, yeah. It's like, it's one of those things where, like, as guys...
Better than doing it.
Yeah. And, like, as guys, you always have this regret of, I want to ask this girl out that I like or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's better to hear the no from the girl than to just go on.
Right. Be like, oh, I would have...
Yeah, it's like 20 years later, you're still thinking about this girl.
Yes.
And so that's why I spoke to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I didn't want any regret.
Yeah.
And it worked out for both of us. But yeah, this regret was the thing that kept keeping me grounded of staying here in LA.
Yeah.
You do not want to wake up, be old, and fucking regret it.
Yeah.
You do not want to be that. What's worse, waking up at that age and regret it, or be fucking 20, 24 and be like in LA?
Right.
You can't compare, right?
No.
And so that kept me going for 4 or 5 months, but it was brutal, dude. I lost like fucking 20 pounds. And I'm kind of generally kind of skinny already.
Yeah.
Dude, I lost so much weight because I wasn't eating, because I didn't have money to be spending. And so I was eating like a fucking, like 2 slices of bread in the morning and 2 slices of bread at night. And for lunch, just like potato and egg.
Yeah.
You know, it was horrendous, dude.
Yeah.
Brutal. And I did that for 4 or 5 months. And the only thing I had with me was just an air mattress and my backpack. And then I bought a bike so I can get around the city. Because I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm going to be spending on Ubers and all that.
Oh my God, yeah. 2 Ubers and it's like, there's...
Exactly. And so I'd buy like groceries, throw it in my backpack, and like just pedal back home with fucking groceries in my backpack, dude. Because even taking the bus, in my mind, taking the bus is still spending money.
Yeah.
And so I did that for 4 or 5 months. I applied everywhere, dude. And I mean everywhere. I don't mean like I'm just applying video editing, because that's what I have a background in, like video editing and stuff. I didn't apply like jobs at video editing only. I applied like fucking being a sales associate.
Yeah.
At Staples or I don't know, Best Buy or whatever.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get any of those jobs. Like the closest I got to a job was unloading trucks at a Best Buy. And even then, they didn't even give me a job.
Yeah.
They probably thought I was too skinny. They're like, no, this fucking guy can't even carry 20 pounds.
What is he going to carry? Marshmallows?
Yeah. He can barely carry the weight of his own decisions, much less fucking Sony TV, right? And so I couldn't get anything. And for 4 months, I kept applying, and nothing, dude. Nothing. It was devastating. Because, I mean, I have my bachelor's degree. I came from working at a courthouse, which was an okay-ish job.
It takes a long time to find a job,
It is, dude.
It takes a long time.
A longest time, dude. And I had 2 fucking resumes, dude. I had one resume that had the bachelor's degree in it, and one that didn't have a fucking bachelor's degree in it. one that only capped out on my fucking high school diploma.
Yeah.
Because if I went to unload trucks, they're not gonna hire a fucking guy with a fucking bachelor's degree.
Right.
So I'm like, they're gonna hire a guy with just with a high school diploma and no fucking like
No,
anything.
it doesn't. In the resume, I thought when I got out here, I was like, I'm gonna get a job waiting tables, no problem. I have 3 years experience at a pretty high end restaurant. I was like, I'm gonna, but couldn't get any restaurant jobs when I got the first job I got out here was at Universal, doing retail.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I thought the image I had in my head, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get a job waiting tables, no problem.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I have a bachelor's degree as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, this is gonna be easy. Like, there's gonna be no problem. And I was like,
Yeah.
nobody
Nobody
would give
wants
me a
you.
job.
Yeah.
Until Universal.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking brutal. It's brutal. Like the fucking this city doesn't want you.
I mean, I think it's hard. It's hard anywhere you go, I guess, to find a job. But
Yeah.
I was shocked when I first moved here. I thought it was gonna just be like, oh, I'll get a job at a cafe or at a restaurant. I got years of experience.
Yeah.
I got a degree.
Yeah.
I got a, but they weren't. Nobody was.
No. I mean, it's very hard in a city. Then you throw that in LA or a huge city.
Yeah.
You got so many thousands of people now competing for that one job. It's just almost impossible to get it. And so after 4 or 5 months of just struggling, I finally land the job interview for Quest. And I say Quest because I saw your Quest chips.
Yeah,
the
protein
protein
chips.
chips. So I land the job interview with them. They have the fucking headquarters are in Hawthorne.
Wow.
They're literally a 10-minute walk from the house where I'm living.
Wow.
And so they hit me up and they're like, yo, we saw your resume. We saw your like video portfolio and stuff. Would you be interested to come in for an interview? And I couldn't believe that an actual company was calling me for a video editing job. I'm like, here I am. Best Buy didn't even want to hire me to unload trucks. Now, fucking Quest is reaching out to me to be a video editor for like the commercials and shit. I just couldn't wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I cannot blow this.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, when can you come in for an interview? And I'm like, fuck it, I'm there tomorrow if you want me to. And they're like, great, we'll meet you here tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so at this point, I was at my most, not only desperate, but I only had about a month or two left in my savings.
Yeah.
To be here in LA.
Yeah.
I did the math and all that shit. I mean,
time is of the essence.
Time is of the essence here, dude.
Yeah.
And I was getting to that point that before they even called, they're like, well, if I'm going to head back, well, I got to do something. Maybe I should do a short film here with LA actors or whatever.
Yeah.
I was already planning of heading back because I kept looking at that savings account and it just kept dwindling, fucking plummeting quickly.
Yeah.
And so when they reached out, they were my fucking lifeline. I'm like, if I don't get this, that's it. I'm fucked.
Yeah.
And so I went in and I was so shocked to see all these people here in the building. They were all like pretty young and excited and having fun. And I was like, oh my God, this seems like a really cool ass job. And it was. And I didn't feel like I was worthy of being here with all these people.
Yeah.
And I go in for the interview goes great. I meet this guy, his name is Niles. I'm still friends with him to this day. And so I meet this guy, he's like the head of the post-production department, the head of all the commercials and videos that are being pumped out by Quest. And he's like, yo man, I saw your portfolio, it looks great. So how much do you know about editing? And I'm like, oh, I'm like 1 out of 10. He's like, yeah, well, I'm like a 9 out of 10 in terms of editing. I know my way around it. Video editing. It's like, great. And he's like, how about animations, like motion graphics? Are you good with animations and After Effects? That's the name of the program. And I'm like, I wasn't.
Yeah.
But the minute he said that, I'm like, this is, depending on how I answer this question, is whether I get a call back or not.
Yeah.
So you lie yourself.
Yeah,
You lie to yourself
definitely.
and you lie to them and say, yes.
Yeah, dude, I can do animations.
And that's exactly what I said. Dude,
Yeah.
of course.
Sure,
Come on, dude. Of
sure.
course I know. Can you fucking read my resume, dude? It's
Yeah,
like,
dude.
it's not there. I'm sorry, dude, but no, I'm fucking,
Love animation.
I love
dude.
animations, dude. What do you want? And so he tells me, oh, great. Well, 1 out of 10, how good are you in animations? And I'm like, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. Like 7.5 out of 10. I'm not even going to say 8. Dude, I'm like fucking running a cold sweat here.
Yeah.
Cause I'm fucking, dude, not even the
heart's
one. Dude, it was brutal, dude. I'm like sweating my fucking bits. Like, it looks like I got out of a swimming pool, dude, with a fucking suit on. And I tell him, dude, a 7.5 out of 10. I'm being generous here.
Yeah.
And dude, the reality was like maybe a 1.
Yeah.
I knew how to open the program, and that's it.
Yeah.
And he bought it. He's like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah. Cool. Well, you're like the first guy that kind of knows both.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then he's like, well, let me show you around. He shows me around the offices, and oh my God, dude, I completely fell in love. He shows me all of these, what we call edit bays, all these video editors working in their workstation with their own computer and their own equipment. And they call them edit bays, right? And I saw all these guys, and they were all like film nerds. They were
Yeah.
all like nerdy dudes who love movies and
Yeah.
love editing and shit like that. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm here with these
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah.
It felt like such an amazing experience hanging out with other like-minded people.
Yeah.
And anyway, the interview ends. I head back home, and then they hit me up immediately. Like, great, they like you. They want to see if you want to come back tomorrow for 3 days. We're gonna give you a test run. We have
Wow.
like a commercial that we're gonna put up, and we want to see if you can do it.
See what you can do.
See what you can do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great, I'll be there
Wow.
tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And dude, I fucking hang up that fucking phone call, and I go to fucking YouTube, and I go to fucking tutorials on animations.
Yeah.
Dude, I just cranked that shit just into my brain.
Absorb.
Absorb as much as I could, dude. And I'm like, fucking watch. And dude, I fucking went at it like for 7 hours, just watching videos and trying to learn shit.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, if I'm gonna bullshit my way through it, let me bullshit my way in a way that I know that I can manage.
Thank God for YouTube tutorials.
Thank God for YouTube.
dude.
Otherwise, I would have been fucked. And so I fucking learned how to animate like text,
Yeah.
like a title, kind of like a movie title, like for it to move and spin and all that stupid shit. And I learned how to do that. And so the following day, I go into the office. They sit me down. They give me a computer, a really cool MacBook Pro, not an actual iMac, and I start animating away. I start animating the thing that I learned just yesterday.
Mere hours ago.
Just mere hours ago. And so I animate all that shit, and then I do a little bit of video editing, and then I show them what I've done. And they're like, oh shit, dude, you animated that? And I'm like, yeah.
Told you. I
told
told you I love animation.
Yeah, right on, dude. And then they're like, oh shit, this guy knows how to edit and animate. All right, okay. And that's how I bullshit my way for 3 days. And they liked what I did for 3 days. And after 3 days, the main guy, Niles, comes up to me and he says, all right, man, we want to book you. We want to book you for another week. We want to book you for another week. And I'm like, you want to book me for another week? And like, yeah. We like what you've done for these 3 days. We want to book you. And I'm like, and he's like, are you working on anything else? Do you have time for us? And I'm like, dude, of course I have time. I have nothing to go back to a fucking air mattress.
Nothing but time.
But nothing but time.
Yeah.
And he's like, great, we're gonna book you for another week. And he did. And they were paying me like, I think like 300 or 400 a day. And in my mind, I was fucking blown away. Like,
Yeah, dude.
holy shit, they're paying me
Yeah.
to fucking video edit? This is the shit that I would do for free back in Texas with my fucking friends.
Yeah.
And I felt so guilty with my first paychecks. But they liked what I was doing. And after the first week, he came up to me and he's like, hey, is it okay if we have a meeting? And I'm like, oh shit, he wants to have a meeting. He pulls me into a room, him and like the creative director, and they're like, "Hey, we really like what you've done, and we want to offer you a full-time job if you'd like." And holy shit, dude, it,
Wow. Yeah.
everything that went like into slow motion.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, yeah, of course, yes, yeah, I'll anything, of course, I'll do it. And they're like, great, well, you can start next Monday. And that was on a Friday. And they're
Wow.
like, we can start Monday and we'll do all the paperwork and shit. And dude, I fucking went back home and fucking like cried, dude.
I bet,
I
dude.
fucking cried, dude. It was like fucking the most insane thing ever.
Oh man.
And I couldn't believe that I was getting a job and a job in what I wanted,
Yeah.
video editing. And that was pretty much it. After that job, it all kind of like snowballed.
Yeah.
I met some people, and through them, I met other people, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And that job took me to another job, and that took
Yeah.
me to another job, and another
Yeah.
job. It took me to freelancing,
Yeah.
and then I was freelancing for fucking Mazda and fucking Toyota and Mitsubishi, like all these huge companies.
Yeah.
And I was doing fucking commercials for like fucking Spike TV and all these
Yeah.
things. And it just kind of snowballed into these job opportunities. And fast forward, just keeping at it, 10 years later, I ended up working at Amazon.
Yeah. And for the listeners, ericksolis.com is right.
Yeah.
That's if you look it up, it's the stuff you've done is incredible. The commercial work stuff and all
Yeah.
that stuff. That whole story is amazing, dude. Because it's just a testament to one of my favorite things about doing this pod and talking with artists and creatives, and there seems to be a similar, like, it just is a testament to going and doing the dang thing. You had nothing figured out. You had nothing established.
No.
You had nothing, but you made that. You
Yeah.
made that, and that is so awesome. And it's so, like, I feel like everybody has dreams.
Mhm.
Everyone has dreams.
Yeah.
But so often people are like, no, this is never gonna happen. Like I don't have a place to stay. I don't have a
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
I can't just move to a new city. Like I don't that and then it's like, no, actually just do it.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
actually do it.
Do it.
Like see what like it does, of course it's everybody isn't batting 1,000. It doesn't always happen. But I mean, it's just people get hung up too much on the it's not gonna work thing instead of being like, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just do it.
Dude, you gotta
Like,
find a way to make it work.
Make it work. Like
Yeah.
and that's just amazing, dude. So you get the job at Quest, you start video editing, it snowballs to other jobs, freelancing. Tell the listeners now, let's move into filmmaking. And tell just for all the listeners, so let's jump into the filmmaking saga of Erick Solis.
Yeah, so kind of like 5 years into being in LA, I kind of say to myself, all right, I've been here for a while now. You moved out here because you wanted to be a director, right? You wanted to write and direct your own scripts. So let's make that happen. How can we make that happen? And I had an idea in my mind. I had an 80s action movie that I wanted to make. And so I figured out, okay, the best way to do it, I think, would be to crowdfund it, like through Kickstarter and all that shit. And so I did. I decided to actually pursue that. I'm going to pursue this project, this movie, this 80s action movie, and I'm going to crowdfund it. And so I did. I went through that whole thing of trying to make a crowdfunding for it, and it took like 4 tries to make it happen.
In terms of fundraising?
In terms of fundraising,
What, like 4 rounds of?
not 4 rounds, but the way Kickstarter operates, it's if you set a goal of, let's say, $10,000.
Yeah.
I need $10,000 to make this movie. If you don't reach your $10,000,
Excuse me.
you're not going to get any money. So even if people donate $9,999,
$9.99. Right.
If it doesn't reach $10,000, you're not going to get any money. The money goes back to the people who donated it. And so it took 4 tries to get the money that I was looking for. And so that was my first step into taking filmmaking seriously.
Yeah.
I did this movie called Night Run, which is the '80s action movie, and it was kind of like a kick in the ass for myself as a director because it literally was like the best and worst experience of my life.
Yeah.
It fucking literally broke me and to the point of almost no return.
Yeah.
It was a brutal shoot. It was me and Elizabeth and I were the only ones that pretty much worked on that movie. Meaning worked on it, meaning like we shot it. We were the only ones in that fucking crew. We had
Yeah.
no crew. It was just two of us.
Yeah.
We were lucky we had the help of one person holding the boom mic.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
other than that, it was just her and I.
Yeah.
And me being so ignorant and arrogant, thinking that I could do so many things, thinking that I could do for my first time.
And for the listeners, this was a feature. This was a feature length.
Yes, feature length,
Yeah.
90-minute movie.
90-minute movie.
And so I thought that I could do it on my own. Just me and Elizabeth, I can do it on my own. Fuck it, I know what I'm doing. No, no, I didn't know what I was doing, and I just fucking blew it. And it was just such a I don't want to say bad experience because I learned so much from it. And now I look back at it and I just want to kick myself in the head for it, but I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah.
And I learned so much from it. And anything that I do now that has any sign of being good, I owe it to that. I will forever owe everything that I do now to that movie.
Yeah.
Because that is the movie that taught me everything.
Yeah.
And it taught me to be fucking humble. It taught me to be fucking practical, pragmatic, realistic, not to be arrogant, not to think that I knew it all. And it was the best and worst experience ever. And after shooting that movie, I had a complete almost like breakdown.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like how the movie turned out. I didn't think the movie was good enough. I don't think the movie was good enough to my standards of what I wanted it to be. But now I hear that every director who does their first movie, they feel that same way.
Oh yeah.
They feel like, oh, this fucking sucks. And I didn't realize that that's how every director feels. Any director who really cares about their project would feel like that. Any fucking director that says, yeah, fucking man, I fucking killed it in that first movie. You gotta be a fucking
Right.
stay away from that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, he has his head up his own ass.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be almost mortified of your dailies. Because as being a director who really cares about your project, you're always going to be questioning every decision that you're making. And so after I finished that movie, I had a breakdown because I questioned everything about it.
Yeah.
And then I soon realized that the movie wasn't going to be working as a feature length, as a 90-minute movie. It would work better as a 30-minute movie. And Elizabeth was one of the first persons that told me that, like, yo, you don't have a 90-minute movie, but you do have a 30-minute movie here, and you can make it work.
Yeah.
And then I had another buddy of mine tell me the same thing. Niles, the guy who first hired me, when I moved out to LA, he's like, yeah, dude, you don't have a 90-minute movie, you have a 30-minute movie. And so I reworked it into a 30-minute movie. And it took me about 3 years to finish it. But it was also just a myriad of circumstances that took me 3 years. I mean, we shot that movie together on October of 2018, and I didn't have a job. That was during a time where I didn't have a job. I was freelancing.
Yeah.
But the freelancing dried up. And we did that movie right after we got married, like 2-3 months after we got married. Sorry. We came back from our honeymoon from Alaska, and which was great.
Oh, that's cool. Honeymoon in
It was
Alaska.
fucking cool, dude. It was amazing, dude.
That's cool.
That was the highlight of that year.
Yeah.
After that, we shot the movie, and it all went downhill from the honeymoon. So yeah. Anyway, so after the honeymoon, like 3 months later, we shot the movie, and during what was I getting at? Yeah. So when we shot the movie, I was jobless, and so when we came back, and we were still jobless. I was still jobless, She had left her teaching gig in Austin to move out to LA with me. And so we're both here in LA in this shitty fucking a fucking house with other roommates. None of us have a job. We have this movie that we just shot, and we're broke as fuck.
Yeah.
Like we went over budget, dude. And I'm not saying that we went over budget like in terms of like we spent the money just like fucking like crazy. Like, we don't give a fuck. No, like we were so careful with the money that was donated to us. Like we weren't even eating just so we can pay the actors.
Wow.
And so we went over budget. And we went over budget just because making a movie is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And you need to pay the people that are in the movie, dude.
Yeah.
And so we were paying our actors. We were paying people that were helping us with car rentals. Since the movie's set in the 80s, I needed like cars from the 80s, right?
Yeah.
And so I'd have to reach out to people, or Elizabeth had to reach out to people, and she'd be like, "Hey, yo, can like we rent your vehicle for like maybe $1,000 a week or whatever?" And before you know it, fucking money starts running, going really quickly.
Yeah.
And then we shot it in Texas, meaning we had to fly our actors in Texas.
Yeah.
We needed to book them a place to stay.
Yeah.
And money just starts flying. You're renting equipment.
Yeah.
The fucking equipment alone was $10,000, dude.
Yeah.
And we had like $33,000 for the whole budget. 1/3 of the budget just flew by in just one payment, which was just the camera equipment.
Yeah.
Camera equipment, lenses, microphones,
Yeah.
lights. Again, I'm learning all these things. Like, holy shit, making a movie is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
You need insurance. What the fuck? I need
Yeah.
insurance.
Right.
That's like $4,000 in insurance.
Yeah.
And it's just on insurance.
Yeah.
Not even in the equipment itself.
Yeah.
So just money starts just flying by, and we're shooting this movie, and money's still flying by, you know. And then we get back home, and we're broke, literally broke. Like we used her credit card, and we fucking maxed out her credit card,
Yeah.
and we still owed money to the actors,
Yeah.
and we're like, fuck,
Yeah.
where are we gonna get this fucking money out of? Like we're both broke. What am I gonna do? And so it was a really rough time for the both of us, really testing our fucking marriage, dude.
Yeah. Right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Testing
Right
the
off,
marriage immediately.
right off the bat, and it's all my fucking fault. And so we withdraw like our savings from the fucking from the courthouse, I think, because you have like kind of like that we're kind of like saving money through a company or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, we withdrew that money that we were saving to pay the actors.
Yeah.
That was the only way we could do it, dude. And so now we're literally broke. Now we have no money.
Yeah.
And we had people helping us out, like helping us pay the rent, and then we had to pay them back. But it was really brutal that we had no money for anything, for even food.
Yeah.
It was really, really rough. And then after I shot the movie, after we paid the actors, after we went through the whole broke thing, it was like 4 months later on that I was finally able to get like a good kind of like a contract job, like a freelancing job.
Yeah.
For like 3 months with Mazda, and they were paying really good,
Yeah.
like really good amount of money. And with that money, we were able to pay back all these people that
Mm-hmm.
loaned us money. And to get to what I was saying, we were so broke that I first needed to get back on my feet after shooting the movie, before even finishing the movie.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not gonna be spending 10 or 12 hours a day editing this movie when I need to put like fucking, we need money.
Yeah.
We need food.
Yeah.
And so for the first year and a half, I just focused on freelancing
Yeah.
and trying to find a full-time job again, just so we can have a life together, a normal life, because I couldn't be working on this movie if we can't even afford to eat.
Yeah.
And so that's why it kind of took 3 years. And then COVID hit. And then that was brutal. I had no fucking time for me, dude. I was working like fucking almost like 20-hour days.
Wow.
No kidding. It was really bad for almost 3 years. And it was a
Wow.
combination of us being broke, us trying to figure it out, and me being depressed over this movie. So it was
Yeah.
just a combination of things. But it wasn't after like the third year, after COVID, it was kind of like ending. I'm like, finally have more free time. I have a job that allows me to have plenty of free time where I can work on the movie. And so that's when I started reworking the movie to 30 minutes. And so it kind of took me 3 years to finish
Yeah.
this 80s action movie.
Yeah.
And so it took a long time to kind of like fall in love into filmmaking
Yeah.
after making that movie.
Yeah.
So it took 3 years to kind of get back into directing. And it wasn't until like 2 years ago that I decided to take it seriously again. And I started doing Clean Slate. And then I did Last Story. And then we're going to do another movie this year.
Delayed cheer
I
there,
know,
but
delayed
I
cheer.
meant
But a cheer nonetheless.
A cheer
yeah.
nonetheless.
Yeah, but it took a while.
Fabulous projects.
Thank you. It took a while for me to fall in love with it again because I was just so heartbroken from that experience.
Baptism by fire.
Dude, fucking by hell. It was horrendous, dude.
Yeah.
It was brutal, 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 but I'm so grateful that it happened. And
yeah, like on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's I can't even imagine, but I just know in terms of the adversities, you know, it's when you come out on the other side and you feel stronger for it, then there's no loss. Ultimately,
no.
I mean, that's easy to say.
Yeah.
I wasn't the one that couldn't buy food. It's easy to be like, oh, it's all good. I learned something from it. But I mean, in terms of artistically, there are no losses if ultimately you come back being like, all right, well, at least I know going forward, I know I not to do this, or or this went really well. I'm gonna do this again, or like this didn't go so well. I'm not gonna do that again. That's invaluable going forward, making things in the future. That I've said this a bunch of times when we've hung out, but the bads teach you more than the goods.
Oh yeah,
the bads, you know, the lessons that you learn from things that really don't go well are invaluable.
They are, and I couldn't have learned. I mean, I couldn't have learned nor have seen anything if it hadn't been for Elizabeth. She was the one that kind of like just kept me grounded and kept me like pushing through. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have. I completely wouldn't have, dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. It's a fucking fact. I wouldn't have.
Well, here's a cheer for Elizabeth.
I wouldn't have like
for a steady hand.
Dude, she held my hand like literally, like figuratively, and like and almost in reality as well. Like she kept me going because I was about to give up on the third day of the shoot.
Yeah.
On the third day of the shoot for Night Run, my first movie, the 80s action movie, something went wrong with the camera where it wasn't working properly. Where I kind of fucked up a cable. I actually broke a cable from the camera. And that in itself fucked me because now I couldn't film anything. And so I'm realizing that the camera has been broken pretty much. And I'm on the third day of the shoot, and we're already like 3 days behind. We're already 3 days behind, dude, on the shooting schedule. And I fucking break the camera. And I go into this full-blown fucking mental breakdown, dude. Not in front of the actors, mind you. I turn to Elizabeth, and I'm like, hey, Elizabeth, babe, can I have a word with you in another room? And we were shooting inside a house. And we had all the actors and everyone with makeup and wardrobe ready to go shoot. And I wanted to turn the camera on, but the camera wasn't turning on. And I'm like, fuck. And I just turned fucking white. And that's when I turned to Elizabeth, hey, can I have a word with you? And I fucking just turned to her and I'm like, the fucking movie's over. It's done. We're God's said, like fucking almost bawling my eyes out. Dude, like a complete fucking bitch, dude. Oh, it was brutal, dude. I thought that the movie was over. Because I kind of broke a cable from the camera. And this cable didn't allow me to see through the viewfinder. You know that little eyepiece where you put your eye?
Yep.
Well, there's a cable connecting that little eyepiece to the camera. That cable was the one that I broke. And since I broke it, I couldn't see what the fuck I was recording.
Yeah.
And so I go into this full fucking mental breakdown. Like, that's it. It's over. We're gonna pay back the money. We're gonna have to pay back the money to the backers. We're flying back the actors. That's it. My career, whatever career that I still don't have, I'm never gonna have a career in here. That's it. It's done for me. We're that's it. We're moving back to Texas. This is it. That's it. This is not meant to happen for me.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking loser. I fucking broke a cable. What the fuck? And so she's like, all right. She's just listening to me, listening to this fucking guy just break down. And she's like, all right, okay, cool. But she keeps it so cool. She goes like into producer mode. She's like, all right, well, how can we fix the problem? All right, we can fix the problem by first figuring out what's wrong with it. And then that's how I figure out that it's just a cable that I fucked up. And she's like, okay, great. So it's just a cable, not the camera. And I'm like, yeah, great. Well, can you find a replacement for it? And I'm like, great idea. Let me Google for it. And then I Google it, and then I do find a replacement cable, which is like $80. And so the camera itself is like a $50,000 camera. So there's no way in hell I'm maybe gonna replace the $50,000 camera. And it's also a rental, so I have the insurance for it. There's no way this is gonna work out immediately. And so I'm able to find a cable for it on Google. I order it, and within 2 days we're already back up and shooting. And that's how we're able to shoot the entire movie. But I wouldn't have been able to shoot anything if it hadn't been for Elizabeth. If she hadn't actually like told me like, yo, dude, chill the fuck out. You can do this. And I've also realized that you need a really good producer, but you also need a really good partner to fucking kind of like metaphorically slap you in the face and be like, yo, you got to do this shit. Because all directors have breakdowns. I've read that like studio directors, they talk about they have a mental breakdown on set.
Yeah.
Where they go into a room and they start like crying and they're like, I fucked it all up. And so that also made me feel that, okay, this is not new.
Right.
We all go through this.
Right.
And it's because you love what you're doing so much that it means so much to you.
Well, and you have to, you guys have to control so many things.
Exactly.
There's so many things that you have on your plate.
Yeah. There's so many things. And again, I couldn't have done anything without her. And for every single day, she was there by my side, just helping me make this vision come true. And so I thank her. I thank her a lot for it, because otherwise I don't think I'd be here.
Shout out Elizabeth.
I don't think I'd be here if it weren't for her. I would have still fucking be lying on the floor in a fetal position.
Yeah.
Still to this day thinking that I fucked it all up.
Yeah.
And so, she helped me through that project. And after 3 years of getting our shit together, I finally decided to release the movie. It's now on YouTube, and people actually love it.
Yeah, dude.
And
it's good.
It turns out it was just me and being in my head all along.
It's tough to fight, especially. We've talked about this too. Like, it's tough to fight the imposter syndrome when you are doing something for the first. Actually, not even for the first time. For the first like friggin' 100 times, it feels like the imposter syndrome is hard to shake. Mm-hmm. Whether it's acting or directing or whatever you're doing. And I think what you said earlier is so correct about like, you won't really meet a director where, like you said, the first time they're like, oh my god, I'm a genius. Like immediately, no, it's almost always like, what the fuck am I doing? How I felt that way acting too. Like I feel like acting, you just suck so bad at the beginning. Everyone does, pretty much. I mean, like, and at the very beginning stages of wherever your career is, you're like, what am I doing? And if you have an experience that it doesn't run smoothly, that just amplifies that feeling by 100. Where you're like, oh my god, not only do I not know what I'm doing, but maybe I've like really messed up like the trajectory of my life.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
what am I doing?
Yeah.
But it sounds like Elizabeth was such a steady force for you to a reinforcement of just being like, hey,
She
it's
was.
okay.
Yeah, and I think that's why we work so well together.
Yeah.
Because both of us, we really call each other out on our bullshit pretty much.
Yeah.
And sometimes we feel, I don't want to speak for her, but sometimes I feel like we scare people off or other couples when we just like completely look at each other and just fucking flat out tell the shit how it is.
Yeah.
Like no lie. Um, People sometimes get thrown off by just how honest we are with each other. But you have to be fucking honest. Otherwise, you're just gonna bullshit it your way through a fucking relationship. And the last thing you want is to be fucking bullshitting your way through a relationship,
Yeah.
pretending that everything is fine when it's not. When it's just a fucking ticking time bomb.
Totally.
So yeah, I mean that's why I'm always showing her our shit, my shit. Like, do you think this is good? And she's like, nah, I think that sucks. And sometimes she won't even tell me how to fix it. She lifts it up to me to figure it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes she'll have input, but I know that I can always count on her for her to give me complete, honest feedback.
That's a needed. I feel the same way about acting too. Like, if I put up a performance that sucks, I would so much rather someone be like, no, that wasn't great for this reason, or like, or just no, that wasn't great. Like, versus being like, oh, you're wonderful, because then you don't learn anything, and then you think what you just did, which was shitty, was good, and it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why she's been so great at that. It's just always letting me know, like, that's actually fucking cool, or no, that's actually kind of lame.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's been great at that, and because of all that, I've been able to continue working on projects.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's why Clean Slate was the first project that I did after Night Run, where I finally told myself, all right, I'm gonna write a script, and let's go make this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. And
Clean Slate was great.
And subsequently working with every other short film that I've done now, it's just been so fun.
Yeah.
I've fucking fallen in love with directing again so much.
That's so great.
I love rehearsing. I love hanging out with actors.
Yeah.
She made me fall in love with hanging out with actors and rehearsing.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking fun, dude. It's so fun when you talk to an actor and they start telling you about inner life and they start talking about kind of like their first memories and all that shit. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking writer then. It's kind of like I'm fucking shooting the shit with another writer, because this actor is talking to me about all the stories that they've written of the character or whatever. And to me, that's so fun.
Yeah.
We're kind of like going in depth and discovering all this stuff. And so Clean Slate was my first project after Night Run, which was about 4 years after Night Run. And it was just so fun to work with like Hunter, Isabel, and Paul. It was so much fun.
The sleep paralysis monster.
Dude, yeah. So that came from a real nightmare that I had.
Sick.
Dude, it was so fun.
That was sick. It looked great.
Dude, it looked so great.
It looked great.
I'm so great. We got a makeup artist. Her name is Shelby. She's fucking spectacular.
She killed it, dude. That was scary. That was legit scary.
Yeah, dude, it's great. And I had so much fun working in that movie. It's like literal like love. The love that you can have for a parent or for a partner. I have that love for the filmmaking.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy to be there. And maybe I'm stressed out of my mind while we're shooting, but I'm just so happy to be there.
Yeah. You're blessed to be in the position.
Yes. Yeah. So blessed to be there and grateful. And I'm like, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
And it was the most fun experience ever. And I've got this great story about Clean Slate and our first day of shooting. And this story is for you, Hunter, if you're listening to it.
Shout out Hunter.
Hunter Carey.
Our great friend, Hunter Carey. Wonderful actor.
Or should I say Christopher?
Yeah, his first name is Chris.
I know. That's
Christopher Hunter Carey.
Christopher Robin. And so this story goes out to you, Hunter. First day of the shoot. First day of my second short film, right? And this is 4 years after I've done Night Run, so it's kind of like a big deal for me. I'm like, all right, I'm back on set. I'm here with a camera. I'm here with actors.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting like PTSD of everything that went down like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But I'm like, all right, let's just go through this. Let's have fun, right? And so everything starts going great. I'm filming Hunter, because the movie starts off with Hunter being in the kitchen, like washing dishes, and we're having so much fun, just like filming and kind of collaborating and all these things. And then it kind of comes to the point where now I have to film Hunter going into his monologue. So in the short film, there's a kind of like a kind of a scene where both him and Isabel, him and Isabel go into a monologue. Both of them do. And so after the monologue, and so for the monologue, I kind of like prep Hunter up. All right, Hunter, so you're going to be standing right here. This is where the camera is going to be, and we're going to do it in one take. But don't be afraid to, if you drop a line, that's okay. Don't worry about it. We can always pick it up. And so I'm kind of like framing the shot up and everything, and we're getting the microphone ready, and he's kind of like getting ready. He's kind of like plugging in and all that stuff. And so we're ready to roll. I told him, all right, you're good. And he's like, yeah, I'm ready to roll. Great. And so the camera's set, the microphone is ready. We start rolling. And I'm like, all right, action. And so Hunter goes into this monologue. His first take of the day, his first fucking huge scene. It's a fucking monologue. He goes right into it. And fucking mind you, dude, it's like a long monologue.
Yeah.
It's like a 3-4 minute monologue. And he's going at it. And he's like giving me so much.
Yeah.
And I'm like in fucking awe of this guy. He's like, holy shit. He's literally what I imagined, what I wrote. And he's doing such a good job. And the fucking monologue is deep, you know. It's a monologue about like childhood trauma and about like your alcoholic dad and how he would beat your mom, and he's given me so much, and I'm just so like engrossed with what I'm watching. And then I look over at the monitor where I'm seeing the shot, and I realize that I forgot to press record.
Oh no! Oh my gosh, dude.
Please. And so Hunter has been going on his monologue for 3 minutes. He's like giving me everything, and the fucking camera's not even recording. And I'm like, fuck. I can see in the monitor that it just says camera standby. Not even, because it's supposed to say camera recording. It says camera standby. And I'm like, fuck. And then he goes through the monologue, and sound is recording. Sound's rolling, right?
Yeah.
Sound's speeding. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, all right. And I just let him finish the monologue. And I'm like, great job, Hunter. Amazing, dude. You killed it. Great. Cut. We got it. That was great. And then I fucking turned to a buddy of mine. I turned to Ethan. And I'm like, dude, I forgot to fucking record that one. And he just goes, holy shit, dude, what the fuck? And then Elizabeth is like, what? She wanted to kill me. And I'm like, oh, fuck, dude, it was brutal. And I was so fucking ashamed of myself. But I mean,
you're like right back in it after night run,
dude. But I blame Hunter. I blame him because it was so good that he forgot. I forgot about pressing record on the camera.
That's so funny.
That's all his fault. It has nothing to do with me and my fucking inability to fucking press record.
That is so funny.
Yeah, and then I go up to him and I tell him, dude, that was fantastic. Let's do it again. And I give him some notes or whatever. But the reason as to why I was having him do it again was because I kind of fucked it up. I fucked it up, dude. I didn't record it.
That's hysterical.
Dude, yeah, I feel it was bad. Yeah.
The lens cap was on.
The lens cap was on. But that was the only time it ever happened. Hunter, I promise.
Hunter, we love you, man. Here's a cheers for Hunter.
Cheer for you, yeah. Great job.
For the listeners, Hunter is a wonderful friend of both of ours. He's a tremendous actor. Obviously, he's the lead in both Clean Slate, that was directed by Eric, and Last Story, which is another... I guess we could use that as a segue, but keep talking about Clean Slate. But all this is to say Hunter was a lead in both of these projects. made by Eric, and he's just a great guy, great actor,
Yeah,
solid.
he is. He's solid.
He's just solid as a rock.
He's solid as a rock. He's great to work with. Yeah, he's fucking great. And again, I owe it to Elizabeth. She was the one that told me about Hunter. She was like, "Yo, you might want to check out him. He's really good."
Yeah.
And 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 so we locked out with Hunter. Um, and so the next project that we did was Last Story. That's like the most recent one. It's like 6 months ago, I think. Um,
I know for last story, you guys got this really beefy, good-looking guy to help out. I think his name is Zach. Zach King? Zachary Zachary Scott King.
Zachary
I've
Scott
heard about
King,
him.
yeah.
He did lights a little bit.
He's king. That's why we got him, and we got him just because he's beefy.
Just a big, beefy, good-looking.
I needed good eye candy
Yeah.
for the day shoot.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
So I needed that to have me as a pick me up. But yeah, that was the second project that we did. It's another horror short film that we did.
So good, dude.
We sent it out to film festivals.
So good.
That one went so smoothly. I can I really don't have any stories to tell about that other than it was just the most fucking fun I've had shooting a movie.
And well, you could tell the audience that it was 150 degrees inside the
It
house.
was 150 degrees, no joke. It could have been 150 degrees. We were all sweating profusely in that fucking thing. Dude.
There was a shot. There was a shot in the kitchen between Elizabeth and Landon, where I was just holding a headlight
Yeah.
in one place, and I was nervous. I was nervous that the sweat dripping off my head was going to affect either the sound of the drop of sweat. But that's how much we were sweating.
Dude, it was so hot. Dude. We're shooting in July and in August.
Yeah, so fun though.
And so fun.
That was, oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
What an experience.
yeah. I don't want to say that it sucks, but I mean, I have almost no stories to tell because it was just so fun. It was
Yeah.
so great.
Great
And
vibes on
It
set.
was great vibes, and it's not like that vibe where we're just fucking jerking each other around and we're not getting any work done.
Yeah,
It was a perfect balance of like we're working, but we're also having fun.
right. Efficiency and play.
And play, and which is exactly what you want.
Yeah,
Because then it gets kind of like tedious. If it's just all efficiency, then it kind of turns into a fucking job
right.
and just work.
It messes up the vibe.
And it's like, no, we're doing this because we love it and there's
Right.
passion here, and we gotta allow ourselves to have a little fun
Yeah,
and to enjoy this.
yeah. Because fun is having fun is really beneficial.
Yeah.
In that line of work,
Yeah.
but I think.
And so we did. I think we managed to do both perfectly.
Yeah,
And
I think
get a
so
good
too.
balance of that, and it was so great, such a wonderful experience. I had so much fun. I miss those days. I really do miss it.
It was fun.
I miss just showing up and just filming
Mm-hmm.
and just hanging around and then going to lunch
Yeah,
and then just joking with each other. I
Yeah.
mean,
that if for like any of the actors out there or people who work in entertainment, that project is like goal set. That's
yeah,
your goal. That's goals.
Yeah.
as the kids say.
yeah,
That's
it was.
goals
It
in
was.
terms of work, relationships.
Yeah,
It was just so great.
dude, we were like putting up shit to 80s music.
Yeah,
It
oh,
was
your
fun.
your 80s playlist, dude.
Yeah, and then for
killed
lunch
it.
we have Chipotle. I mean, I love Chipotle,
Yeah.
and I'm so happy. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
Such a great project. Go check out Last Story and Clean Slate.
Yeah, yeah. And right now we're working on another project, a music video that we're planning on shooting. This music video is just pretty much for fun, but I think it kind of helps all of us, like for our reels or
Definitely.
or whatever. And so you're gonna be in it, and we're very excited
Thank you.
for that.
They hired a really good looking kid for
Yeah,
this.
really good. Two good-looking people. It's gonna be you and Elizabeth, so it's gonna be
Just-
great.
No, I'm excited, man.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where you never know where working on these projects can lead to.
Yeah.
I've done passion projects for fun before, just for fucking fun.
Yeah.
And the last one that I did, I got hit up, I got reached out by Netflix to work for them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it's something that I just did for fun.
Yeah.
And I got Netflix hitting me up
Yeah.
to work. And so you never know what
You
anything
never
that you
know.
do, what's going to lead to anything.
Right. The reach you can have now
The
is
reach you
crazy.
have is great. And so, um, yeah, that's where we're going to be working on this one. And then after this one, it's another short film that we're planning on doing, an action short film, which we're going to do this year. We're going to do two. We're going to do these two projects this year.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm very excited about both of them.
That's awesome.
Very excited.
And for the listeners, we also just worked on Carrie together.
On Carrie, so
which
it's amazing, dude. It was fucking great.
That was great.
And that's all Elizabeth again.
Yeah.
I read the book first. I fell in love with the book. I love Stephen King, and I read Carrie, and I fell in love with it. I told her, you should read Carrie. She reads it, and then she's reading through it, and she's like, oh, this is so fun. I like how in the book you kind of like some chapters you go into like kind of like almost a script like style of dialogue.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
almost like a screenplay.
A screenplay. You kind of go into a screenplay mode, and she was referring to an interrogation, and she thought, oh, they're interrogating a sheriff here. Wouldn't it be fun if we actually shot this? Because this reads like a fucking screenplay. We can actually shoot this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? You're right. We should do that. And you know what she said? You know what? I think Zach would be a good sheriff. And that's because she had seen you before working on something or done on something on stage. And again, she's also a great casting director. She just kind of like that little light bulb in her head. And she's like, I think we can reach out to ask Zach about this to play the sheriff. And so that's how it kind of spiraled.
I was honored, dude.
Yeah.
I was honored.
And that's because, and I brought this up, I think, to you last year, where I said, I think we want you to play a sheriff. I think it would be great to play a sheriff. And fucking 4 months later, we were filming this scene where it's straight out of the book. You're playing a sheriff.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. I was honored.
Yeah. I wish we spent more time on set though. It felt like it flew by really quickly.
I was happy that we just kind of got what needed to get done.
Just kind of like, all right, we shot it, we're done. Okay, I guess that's it.
That's we gotta go back. Kind of like the best. It's It's like, all right,
I guess that's it. Okay,
got what we need.
Got what you needed. Yeah.
I for the listeners, I'm not gonna talk too much about this because I will later when it's out and all this. But when we showed up to this really cool warehouse set package, there was like jail cells and different sets, things of that. There was like a bedroom, and there was the police stuff that we used, interrogation rooms. Really cool, cool place. And I'm putting on in the bedroom. I'm putting on the sheriff's outfit, which is sick. It looks so awesome. It's so authentic. It's like the shirt, the tie. I'm tucking it in, and I'm putting on this awesome, this just fly ass sheriff's jacket with the fur collar. Just a beautiful jacket, and then this hat, this beautiful hat that Eric and Liz got for this movie. Authentic sheriff's hat, actually was worn by a sheriff. It's beautiful. Stetson. I love hats in general. I'm a big hat guy. I'm a big LA asshole hat guy. But anyway, this beautiful hat. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror with all just, and I put the hat on, and I break the brim from the base of the Stetson. And like I'm trying to so you guys can picture this. I'm trying to explain it. Like literally the entire brim. Like I put the hat on with my right and my left hand on the brim on either side of my hat, and boom, and the brim just breaks. And this is like I don't know. I think our call time was 9:00. So this is literally like 9:05. Like this is first thing in the morning. And I was like, all right, Well, I've just ruined this whole. I just ruined this whole operation, dude. Like, I'm looking, I'm looking at the brim of this hat, and I'm like, we may as well not even shoot, dude.
Dude, we haven't even
may as
gotten to take one.
we haven't, dude. We
This
haven't
fucking
even
guy.
made it out of the dressing room.
This fucking guy.
But
It's funny.
the show must go on.
You came out of the fucking restroom and you're like, I think I broke my hat.
I was like, I just cost this whole operation. Like this entire operation was just been compromised. But the show must go on, and we figured it out. And
We did,
we
yeah.
figured it out.
Elizabeth.
It was all Elizabeth. We thank God it was just the underside of the hat, because
Yeah.
we
Taped
ended up
it.
using stage tape and using a Sharpie, and it's underneath the brim, and
Yeah.
it worked out. But I was sure, I was like, great, this is the first time I'm ever acting for. I've worked with Eric and Liz in the past as crew, but I was like, great, this is the first time acting. This is my first showcase ever for them, and immediately just break this beautiful hat, this gorgeous hat. But the show must go on, and that's the beauty of it, and it did.
It did, and it all works out, and
the show did go on.
it should, yeah. The show went on, and everything went smoothly after that. I think she'll tell you more about it when she's sitting here. But
Yeah.
since this was the first time she was directing, she didn't really know what it was to be on the other side of kind of
I
like,
can't wait to talk to her about it,
Yeah.
because I think what I'm excited to talk to her about is now we're gonna chop it up acting wise, but
Mhm.
I'm very intrigued about that part what you just said,
Yeah.
flipping to the other side,
Yeah.
and how, like, in terms of prep,
Yep.
how it's different
Yeah.
in terms of seeing the bigger picture,
Mhm.
and while doing this
Yeah.
one thing. That fascinates me.
There's so many things that are gonna go wrong, will go wrong,
Yeah.
and they have to go wrong. Um, I think Del Toro, Guillermo del Toro said that the natural state of a movie, its natural state of a movie is to not exist. A movie's not meant to exist. That's its natural state. So by you trying to will it into experience, you're kind of going against everything in this world to make it happen, you know? And so that's why everything will go wrong. And so when that happened, when you came out with a hat in two pieces, I'm like, yeah, of course.
Right.
This is the thing that was going to happen.
Yes.
And so I turned to Elizabeth, and she already has big eyes, beautiful eyes. And I just look, and her eyes go even bigger. And she keeps her cool. She's like, and I know she gets like kind of like stressed when she closes her mouth and kind of goes into like a lockjaw.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, yeah, now you get it, huh? Now you get it, huh? Yeah, you're always calling me out and shit when I'm directing, but now you know how it feels, huh? And so she's like, the first thing I told her, you're not gonna worry about this. This is not your job. You're not gonna worry about the fucking hat. You're here with me. We're co-directing. We got other shit to figure out.
Yeah.
The hat is the least of your worries. So I told her, hey, we'll just have Lauren.
Here's
So
a
the-
cheers for Lauren. Shout out, Lauren.
Lauren's just another great friend that we have.
Solid.
So on set, I told her, we'll just have Lauren take care of it, you know? And if she needs help, then maybe we can help her later on. But we're not gonna worry about this right now. And so she did. She let it go. And so we started focusing on other stuff. And that's how that kind of worked out. And then I think after the shoot, she then later said like, oh my God, now I have like more respect towards what you do, because there's so much shit that just happens that you have to put up with.
You have to just handle it on the fly.
You have to handle it on the fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of handling it on the fly.
Exactly. So, dude, it all worked out. It was fun. It was fine.
Yeah, no, it's so fun, dude. It's such a. I mean, both of you guys are just a pleasure to be around, and it's ultimately a a, a bad day on set is better than a good day off set.
Oh yeah, dude, of course.
In a lot of ways. I mean, that being said, I know a bad day on set can like ruin you. It can like ruin your life. Like I fully admit that it can
Yeah.
be bad.
Yeah.
We've all had bad. A lot of your stories where you're just like calling home crying.
Yeah.
I've had that. I've
Yeah.
had that.
Mhm.
But ultimately, all the emotional actor bullshit aside, um, and I say bullshit lovingly because
Yeah.
but a bad day on set, you're still making your dreams happen.
Of
Or
course. No matter
you're
what.
attempting even if it's the worst day in the world. It's like, well, at least I'm here doing what I actually think I'm put on earth to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Of
or
course.
like
Yeah.
so you got to keep that in mind too when bad stuff happens.
Of
It's
course.
like, well, we're making a movie, man. Like
Dude,
this is awesome.
it is.
Like
It's so much fun. Dude.
yeah.
We're literally playing fucking make believe.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth's always saying like, "Oh my God, we're like so silly. We're literally stage monkeys. You know, here we are. We're children pretending to like pretend, or I'm playing pretend."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it. And I'm like, I'm the director. I'm like the worst of you all because I'm the guy telling you what to do. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if then you shoot each other
Yeah.
and then one falls to the
Amuse
floor?
me, clown.
Yeah, and then I'm the guy orchestrating this thing. I'm also another kid here playing
Yeah.
with you,
Yeah.
and it's just great. And so I'm a firm believer in life is all about balance in every
Yeah.
fucking aspect of that word, in diet, in relationships, and
Yeah.
everything. And it also boils down to directing and your passion.
Yeah.
And I think directing is this huge passion of mine. I have this huge love and affinity for films and movies. But I'm also gonna realize that it's just also a fucking movie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be just here jerking myself off to fucking Martin Scorsese and all
Right.
these fucking movies. It's just a fucking movie, dude. At the end of the day, people are getting paid.
Yeah.
It's also a job.
Yeah.
So let's not take ourselves seriously here.
Right.
It's a movie. People are actually doing real shit with their lives.
Right.
We have fucking people saving other people's lives. And
Right.
we're just making movies.
Yeah.
And we're just having fun.
Yeah.
And we need to always realize that.
Right. You have to take that side of it while also, I mean, we all take it so seriously too because it's our dream, you
Yeah,
know.
of course.
You have to have you have to have the yin and the yang
You
of being
have to.
like, okay, I'm going to take this as serious as I've ever taken anything on
Of
one
course,
side because
yes.
there's a lot of people who have helped me along the way to even be in this position. This is my dream. This is my passion. With the other side being like, all right, I'm not doing CPR on somebody right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to. But, you have to have both pieces of that cookie.
Of course, because you can't let it go to your head.
Right.
It's just, I've seen so many people think they're the shit.
I've literally done CPR on people.
There you go, dude. There you
know
go.
what I mean?
I
And it's
haven't.
like-
I
it's
haven't.
like-
If I don't want to kill the motherfucker, I'm not. I can't do it.
I take that. I always take that mentality with me when I'm getting like psyched out of my mind about something. I'm like, all right. And I've done CPR on somebody.
Yeah.
I know, like that's like I can't get you know it's I've said this before, but what I find very interesting when I first started at Stella
Mhm.
a couple of years ago, it's the only place I've ever trained acting wise. I've been in productions and stuff, but the only acting classes I've taken was at Stella. And this was after a year in AmeriCorps. It was about a year after being in AmeriCorps. Fresh off this year, wildland firefighting, going all over the country. It's awesome experience. Friends for life. Met absolute friends for life, and but just a just a brutal 16-hour days. And not all the time, but only with the like fire heavy. But anyway, all that is to say, I found this very weird sensation when I got on stage, where um, it's the same part of your brain that you have to flip off
Yeah.
when you're like going to a fire that it is going on stage. It's because there's this one part of your brain that's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're doing something weird that you have to be like, no, shut up. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You have to like you have to like suppress that part of your
Yeah.
brain and just be like, just quiet.
Yeah.
I acknowledge I'm doing something weird. It's actually the same part of your I just thought that was so cool. Like I never thought there would be a similarity between like a firefighting job and like an acting job, but there so is.
Wow.
There so is. It only in the terms of that part of your brain that's just constantly being like, you're doing something insane right now, dude. Which is like the survival part
Telling
of your brain.
you to run.
Yeah, and it's like it's the same process of being like, shh, shh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go rock and roll. I'm gonna go rock out right now. You're fine. It's fine. It's I don't know why I got off on that tangent. But
No, but
I guess we're talking about like stress and.
But that's actually very. I think that's a really good insight of you to have. You know, not a whole lot of actors can say, "Yeah, I put out fires."
I think with acting, I mean, I can't wait to talk about this with Elizabeth too, because I know she was a teacher. I think with acting, real life experience is so invaluable for an actor. I think because like I won't even get too much into that, but perspective in general, I think really can weigh very heavily in a performance, and I don't know. I think just real life perspective really is an important thing for any actor.
Yeah, I think as an actor, you have to go around and observing people and seeing how they act.
Yeah.
And you can take from that.
Yeah, and it's like you have to see the world through other eyes, and it's like I don't know. We can talk about I'll save all the acting stuff for later.
For later. Yeah.
But listen, man, my phone's at like 10%, so literally we've been going for like an hour and a half, and this is one of the best pods I've ever done, dude. This is a great conversation.
Mine too. This is my first podcast, so this is the best podcast I've ever had.
I mean, I'm literally gonna call this because of my battery, but you got to be a repeat pod.
Oh, yeah.
A repeat pod guy, dude. Because I feel like we could do 10 of these.
We can do it. Dude.
I'm not joking. Like let's do this again.
Dude, I can go and I can talk to you about my favorite recipes.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, I could the new plants that I'm watering.
Anything, dude. Yeah.
No, dude, for real. I'm
having this back pain. It's horrible.
You and me both. I feel like we still have like a lot to uncover.
There's so much more,
so
yeah.
come back. We'll do an Erick Solis part 2.
Of course.
For the listeners, do you wanna? Is there anything? Can you plug where people can find you, or if there are projects you want to plug? Anything?
For sure. I mean, if they want to not head me up, but if you want to add me on Instagram, follow me. It's just Night Drives. I'm not really active on social media.
Okay.
I not to sound pretentious as fuck. I probably will sound pretentious, but I'd rather be working, like actively making, writing, out filming, designing, video editing, rather than being just online. I feel that it's kind of like a slippery slope. The minute you go into fucking looking at reels, you kind of just get lost.
3 hours.
There goes 3 hours of people falling.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I know I gotta stay away from that. And so I'm not really on it, but yeah, if they want to follow me, I'm on Instagram, Night Drives.
Okay.
And we're just the Playback Collective on Instagram. Elizabeth handles all
Playback Collective. And on YouTube, they can look up
my name, Erick Solis.
Okay.
You might get a gangbanger because I googled myself. I've done that thing. I've googled myself, and There's not like one picture of me. I can't believe it, which I'm kind of happy. There wasn't like one pervert.
Oh, come on, you're a stud.
There was one pervert, dude. Like his name's Erick Solis, and I was like, oh my god, when was I arrested? But it wasn't me. It was some like fucking 50-year-old dude.
Okay.
And yeah, Erick Solis on YouTube and Night Drives on Instagram.
All right, dude. Well, this was a pleasure. This is another cheer for the great and powerful Erick Solis.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Zach.
Yeah, of course.
Love you, man.
Love you too, buddy. All right.